Great skills again by him. Oh, marvellous goal by Logan.
Welcome to the Rangers Journal.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to your Rangers Journal post-match reaction to a very disappointing 1-0 draw away to Motherwell at Fir Park. With me to go over the action is Chris. Chris, how you feeling after that?
Jock, I'm not going to lie, I'm probably not the best person to be on this pod tonight because this team needs ripped into, and Danny Rule needs ripped into, not just for tonight, Hibs as well. 100% this is on Danny Rule. First and foremost, 100% this is on Danny Rule. And he needs to take accountability for that. We see that a mile off. We really did, Jock. We see that a mile off. And we'll get into it. Substitutions, changes that he done. You knew where this was going. Absolutely knew it. And it was, I'm going to apologise just now because I'm probably going to rant for the next 20 minutes on this. So apologies to anyone who doesn't want to hear me rant, but that's where it's at. I'm fuming. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, it's lineup surprised a lot. I know it caught me off guard. It was kind of very similar to the Hibs lineup, wasn't it? And then social media, the group chat, a lot of anxiety. And I thought, this one's on the manager. I think the lineup, this is who he's picked. In my head, I was thinking, I wonder if this is him challenging those players now to say, look, tonight's a big game, but Saturday or Sunday's also a big game against Hearts, against the league, the league leaders. Who wants to start against Hearts? This is your chance to go and show that.
Yeah,
didn't get that tonight from some of those players. Certainly, Gassama is one for me. He was, just an empty jersey tonight. Any other surprises in the lineup before we get stuck into sort of the match and what happened?
Jamaica coming in was a surprise for me, Jock. I thought the hype with Nadiri, and you've seen with Nadiri when he did come on how he can hold play up and stuff. I thought he'd have been probably been getting in there, and that was a surprise for me. I didn't think the Gassama one. The Gassama baffles me. I've been on his case all season, and I think people are starting to realise why. Because he's not doing it for Rangers at all. The way he looked when he came off, again, that's not a footballer for me. He knew himself. He had an absolute shocker tonight, and walking off that part like that, disappointed, heat down. He needs to have a good long hard look at himself, first and foremost, as far as I'm concerned. But no, the lineup, the big surprise was Gassama for me getting in there. Maybe look, this is one I'll maybe take a bit of criticism on, but the one I was surprised was Giga being in there. I thought maybe Fernandes came straight back into that. But look, I'll take my hat off to Giga. I thought Giga was immense tonight. I thought he had a tremendous game. It's probably the best I've seen him play. But individuals, the manager first and foremost let us down. Individuals let us down as well. And I think that's the crux of tonight. And get in with that mentality, Jock. Rangers won't win anything with that mentality. And the challenge we've got now is that's happened against Hibs. It's now happened against Motherwell, and we've dropped points for that. And that's on Danny Rule because those two performances, they're a carbon copy. And you should not be letting Motherwell score when they're down to 10 men and you've got a back five in that park. Shouldn't be happening at all. And again, that's where it's on the players at that point and then the individual battles that they lost.
On the lineup then, just before we start the match, Danny Rule did say pre-match, and the RTV I picked up on that he said that he'd been given some new information regarding some players. So I'm wondering if that's maybe changed the way he wanted to approach the game, and it's maybe forced his hand in terms of the lineup. But like you say, definitely, obviously going with what he's going with. He's picked who he's picked. He's trusted who he's trusted, and bottom line is they haven't delivered in the game.
Yeah.
Just before we touch on that, then pre-match, did you see the tifo in the away end? Have you ever seen tifos from away fans before? Something that showed me.
I've seen it in a few games, but see, to be honest, Doug, fair play. Sorry, Jock, not Doug. I'm looking at the comments. I've seen Doug's name there. That's why I gave you his name. Apologies. See, to be honest, Jock, I'll be honest. I was really pleased to see that from Motherwell. I thought it was great because I think too many teams are nervous about allowing any sort of tifo and things like that. And take my hat off to Motherwell for doing that. I think it brings something different to the game. It brings a really good atmosphere to the game. And look, it's a lot of teams should be taking Motherwell's lead in that and allowing other teams to do it, because it was a really good tifo from Rangers on that one, definitely.
Yep, we've got a surprise guest, Stu. How's things? How you feeling after that result?
Oh, just a bit deflated. I thought we were going to hold on to the end, and then Murphy's Law and all that. Couldn't believe it.
Aye. Right, the game then started the way I kind of thought it would. They would come at us. We showed one bit of quality, I think, attacking wise, the entire game. We got a goal from it. Great ball by Diamandi, slips through Raskin. Chris finishes nice and cool. Totally against the run of play, I thought, because I say they came out the traps like you kind of knew they were going to do. But it was a great goal all round.
Great goal. Honestly, it was. It's Raskin. That's the way he plays. That's what he does for Rangers. That's what he brings. He shouldn't be in that number 6 role for me. That's a waste for him. And I think obviously you look at what Danny Rose tried to do tonight. He's tried to sit Raskin in there with Chukwani.
Yeah.
Why not sit Chukwani on his own and go with the two attacking? You know what I mean, it's just that's the challenge for tonight. But definitely Raskin for me, when he plays in that forward position and he's always going beyond, it gives so much more to the team, and you've seen that with the goal tonight. Took it really well. That could hit off the keeper, it could go wide of the post. He took it well, put it in the right spot. Some great play from Diamandi. The challenge again though, Jock, with that one is the yellow card for Diamandi in the first half, which I just thought was mental. Killed him, I think, and killed him in terms of everything done. Then you've got Raskin, who, let's be fair, he's just been spoken to 2 seconds before, and then he's meant to push the guy off the ball.
Yeah,
he's got to hold his hands up and say, what the hell am I doing there? So again, I thought the 2 yellow cards kind of killed it a little bit in that sense of it. But yeah, Raskin showed you in that moment in terms of the goal what he can bring if he plays that bit further forward. He's just wasted too deep for me in the park, and we need to change that up. And I think maybe that's the situation with Barron. Maybe Barron plays in there with Chukwani, and then Raskin could be one of the further forward ones. But I just don't like Raskin playing too far back in that one.
Yeah, I think you're spot on there, Stu. That obviously the goal came, minutes after Butler made a big save, to deny Motherwell. You got the partner score, and then the rest of the first half, we're just kind of poor. It was always down to we were letting Motherwell sort of come on to us, and it was all about you're winning your battles, and I think that what this game boiled down to really was win your personal duels, and we were doing that throughout the game, but it kind of meant we weren't actually able to do anything with the ball because we weren't passing right, we weren't holding up. Trimity wasn't holding the ball up. Midfield wasn't getting involved at all. It was more sort of long balls over the top, which granted did cause Motherwell some problems, and Trimity was able to sort of stretch the game a bit, and he got a gilt-edged sort of double chance, really, I suppose you could say, and just completely fluffed his lines with the second one, which is, or the first chance, which is point blank at the keeper. All he needs to do is pick a side and put it in the net, but he just hammers it at the goalkeeper. At 2-0, the game's done, I think.
Yeah, I agree. It was just a really kind of rough, very physical game, and I think, like I said, especially in the midfield, the Motherwell made it really, really, really tough. They didn't give us any time at all. You seen they were kind of targeting players as well. Like, I thought Mikey Moore had a tough night because they were clearly just planning just to kick him, just double up on him. And like you're saying, they didn't get an awful lot from the forward areas. And Chermiti, as I said, see when he hit that straight at the keeper, and he did well, and he was under pressure and everything to control it. But see when he went straight at the keeper, and then I thought the second one maybe. But yeah, we didn't create very much outside the Raskins. And you seen, I just was watching at the end there, like Motherwell had 18 attempts on goal to our 10. I think Motherwell really just had the run of the game tonight, and we failed to deal with them.
You seen that, Chris, particularly the first half, as Stu says there, they did double up on players whenever the ball broke out to like Chukwani wasn't able to pick up the second ball like he has been doing in other games. There wasn't any of that. They were always ready to pick up the second ball and harass whoever we had on the ball to get the ball off them. And then when they broke and they passed, they do play the ball well. Even on that surface, I thought they were spreading the ball about and their transitions and movements was really, really quick. And obviously, we're not watching Motherwell unless they play us. It's something that surprised me. But you kind of did see that's obviously carried on from the first game of the season when we played them, and you could see what they were trying to do. They just weren't as fluid. Definitely different kettle of fish with them now.
Definitely, Jock. I think Motherwell. I've watched Motherwell a few times leading up to tonight's game just to try and get a sense of what they were all about, right? And I've seen them against different opponents and different types of opponents, and what we've seen from Motherwell tonight they weren't at their best, right? And that's I'm trying to give them a wee bit of credit here because they weren't at their best and they still played us off the park at certain points in times, right? But again, I think a lot of that comes down to how we set up in the first instance, right? We stood off them, we sat off them. We didn't press like we could press, and I think that probably allowed Motherwell to into the game, especially in the first half when they were playing the ball about and just say doubling up on us and things. They were getting too much space to be able to do that. And then even towards the end, when you're down to 10 men, Motherwell still looked a better team at that point. They still looked a team that was going to go and score. And that's because, again, we're far too negative in our approach. We're sitting off far too much. And I don't get the tactics on this one at all. I really don't. I don't get the tactics in the Hibs game. Don't get the tactics in this one. And it's criminal. And if these two come back to bite us, Joe, it's Rangers all over again, isn't it? That's the problem. And look, I'm not saying, dear, for a second that's done, right? I'm not saying that at all because there's too much football still to play. But we've made it so hard for ourselves now going into the next few games. We could have been in a better position, and we're in a situation now where we need to go and win on Sunday. We need to go and win against Livingston. We need to go and beat Celtic at Ibrox in the league. All of that needs to happen. And let's be honest, if they go in playing like that, first half or second half, doesn't really matter. We're never going to get that. And I think that's the most frustrating thing. I think that's what we're seeing in the comments. We're seeing, if you look online and stuff, all the comments is we knew this was going to happen if you play in that way. And how we can see it, but the management can't see it and the players can't see it, is beyond belief, Job. Because, as I said, that's the frightening thing. Motherwell were not at their best tonight. I've seen them play much better. I've seen them play against the team across the city, and when they beat them and played them off the park, they were a much better side in those games. And then when you look at that one tonight, Motherwell weren't anywhere near as good as what they've been, and that's a worry for me because they did play us off the park at certain points in time.
Yeah, that's particularly the first half. Second half, I thought we did grow into the game more so, and Motherwell didn't play the way they were playing in the first half. Obviously, then we start making substitution. Gassama comes off, didn't look too happy, but he offered nothing, so don't know what you can expect there. Stu, then Motherwell get a red card. Shocker, a challenge. I'm surprised that even it took that long to get the correct decision, but thankfully they did. But it didn't seem to deter them at all, did it? Going down to 10 men, if anything, it just sort of galvanised them a bit more. And because I couldn't believe how far back we were sitting. And we were just inviting them on. Yes, granted, we were doing that in the first half, but I think it was a more controlled manner. I think the anxiety and the fear just kicked in those last 5 to 8 minutes, and it's cost us, isn't it?
Absolutely. Touching on that tackle, that was horrendous. I couldn't believe it was a yellow initially, and I'm glad that VAR actually came to the right decision. And that could have really, really resulted in a bad injury, especially with studs up, full contact with his planted leg. So I'm glad the right decision was reached there. But yeah, absolutely. I thought maybe we'd be able to express ourselves more, carry the ball more, and hit the final third when they got a man sent off. But as you said, it was an absolute galvanising effect. They were just absolutely determined to not be pushed back, and he didn't miss Motherwell's 11th player at all. It didn't affect how they played and what they were doing to our tactics. So yeah, that was odd and frustrating.
Yeah, Chris, obviously, Motherwell get the goal. Magoma just not strong enough at the back post. First there, then the Suter kind of steps off his man and gives him just that enough space just to get the shot in, and it flies across the goal, hits post and goes in. That basically sums up the night. But that's no more than I think what Motherwell deserved, because they were the far better team on the night.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm saying it right up to the goal happened. We could see it coming a mile off. The chance before that, the one that Butler makes a save, you knew where it was going. There was no doubt about it. And normally in those situations, you think somebody takes or misses a big chance, the other team's up the other end and scores. We were never doing that tonight. Not a chance in that one. I think of the goal itself from Motherwell, Joe, the thing for me is I don't know if it was Makoma or Sterling. I think we might have done it. I think we said Makoma, but I think it was Sterling, right? I'll put another one to this. See if that's Tav does that. Everyone's calling for him. His career's ended. That's the thing, right? Sterling's got to be stronger there, and he's not. And that's a shocker. It really is. But again, the situation for me is, look at Suter. How far is he away from that player, right? When he scores, he's probably 2 feet away from him. He's got to be touch tight at that point in time. He's got to be right on him. When a ball like that's coming into the box, be right on him and don't give him any space. And he's standing 2 feet away from him, or whatever it was.
It's enough.
That for me is criminal. It's absolutely criminal. And it's the same basic mistakes that Rangers make. And somebody put in the comments, I don't know who it was, somebody put in the comments, is this Danny Rose Ross County moment? That's John Suter Ross County moment again. John Suter was the issue in Ross County when he gave away 2 goals, and he gave away that goal there along with John Sterling, the two of them. That again is massive. That's so frustrating, and it's the same players again, time and time again, Jock, that's making these mistakes, and it's just baffling. I'm absolutely baffled by it, and how Rangers continue to give up these goals, because it's unbelievable. It really is. It's absolutely unbelievable. Too far back, and he should have been touch tight on him in that situation. But
yeah, Stu. Then obviously you've got guys like Olsen, Nadiri did come on, Ant-Man. Players that have played well over the last 2 games. Not really been used much. Obviously we need to see if maybe there was some niggles there and he didn't want to risk them. But surely games like this is why you sign these guys, to bring them on and to get them, because you want to play your best 11, to try and get a message across. And clearly he's not. I don't think he's done that tonight, and that's why I think tonight the can sits with the manager.
I think so. I certainly don't think it was our strongest team. I mean, when the day he came on, I thought he was impactful for the time he had, and the kind of when we were in possession, I thought him and Tav linked up well, and he ran his heart out and put a ball or 2 in. But yeah, we're at the point now with the crazy season that's been, and what's at stake, where we have to play our best team every time. And we've not done that. And even like you said, obviously Fernandes came on, and maybe he was thinking he didn't want to put him straight in after the injury, but he is our best defender, and he's one of our goal threats, and we don't really have an awful lot, in the forward area. So a lot of the goals have come from him at set pieces. So for him to be missing and available, it's kind of criminal. And just go back to what Chris was saying as well, with Suter in that moment. That was kind of a sad moment, because I thought Suter actually had a great game up until that point, and he put his body on the line and everything. So I was a letdown, and it had to be Stephen Welsh, didn't it?
Well,
like any other player, no, unknown Celtic player. But yeah, I think the manager got it wrong today. We need to play the best team every time. Do you think he made the changes with an eye with the game at Hearts?
It looks that way to me. I mean, to me, it looks that way. I think maybe he's focused too much on the weekend game. But you have to look at you're only as good as your previous game, and those players that some of the players that played well against, regardless of Queen's Park or not, they were flying. So give them the nod and let that let the good form continue, because it couldn't have been any worse than what we did against Hibs. But then we've walked up here and we gave another Hibs performance, and it was a shocker. And this one's following quite close to it. Chris, what's your thoughts now? Then, is this is this 2 points? 2 points lost, and then must win now, or could this at some point potentially be seen as maybe a good point? The problem is now that's our 10th draw of the season. I'm looking at that's our 10th, and I did say way back when rule came in, when things started were looking up, that our biggest issue might be the draws from the previous stint of the season under a different manager could come back to haunt us. But
Yeah.
we're doing it under the new manager, who we were getting a bit of momentum, but it seems to be we're stalling again.
Yeah, totally. I want to put some positive spins on this, right? And I'm trying my hardest to put a positive spin on this,
Please.
right? And the positive spin that I'm putting on this is you win every game between now and the end of the season, you win the league, right? That's still the situation. That hasn't changed. So that's a positive for us. The positive is we've got 2 massive games at home coming up. And I'm not even looking at the quarterfinal of the cup because I'm not interested in that just now. I'm focused on the league, right? 2 massive home games coming up. Win those 2 games, we're back to a similar situation to where we were before that game tonight, right? And we're all singing, all dancing again at that point. The positive is, I don't think he plays that lineup again. I really don't. I think he'll learn from that. I think he'll learn. I hope he learns from it, right? And I hope he goes. He doesn't play that lineup again. And I hope that the players realise why the fans are so nervous. And I hope Danny Rule understands why the fans are so nervous. He talked last week about the booing at half time and things like that. That there tonight is why fans boo at half time, because they're not seeing Rangers take the chances that they should be. And we know that those things come back to bite us. And he's got to understand that, right? So that for me has to be all the positives. We've still got time. We've still got an ability to go forward in this. The biggest worry for me, though, Jock, and again, I don't want to be back in a negative part of it, but the biggest worry for me is that's 2 away games in a row. We've done the exact same thing in 2 away games in a row. The team, if you looked at that tonight versus what happened against Hibs, it's an absolute carbon copy. Set up, the approach to the game, the way the players' mentality was, it's the exact same. We could have lost it easily against Hibs. And even there tonight, when Motherwell get to 1 each, they had a couple of chances to make it 2-1 as well. And towards the end, a bit better from Maswanise, who I thought was poor tonight. I'm not going to lie. I didn't think he was up to much tonight as well. But I look at that and I say to myself, I'm hoping that we've got that out the way and you have to go forward. But Danny Rule needs to come out, and I think he needs to hold his hands up. I've not heard the post-match interview. I don't know what he's saying.
Yeah.
But if he's got anything about him, he'll come out and he'll hold his hands up to say he got that wrong. And if the Rangers players are anything about them, they won't come out and give it all ifs, buts and maybes. They'll keep their mouth shut and they'll go on with it and they'll go out there and put a performance in on Sunday. That's what needs to happen. Then they'll put another 2 performances in against Livingston and Celtic and see where we're at after that point. If we don't, we may as well shut up shop and all go home, because if they turn up with another performance like that tonight on the same one against Hibs, it's game over, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I think you're right. Stu, just closing thoughts then. What do you think we'll do for Hearts? Is he going to rip the team up and start playing the new signings, or is he going to, as Chris says, hopefully not play that team again?
I think he's got to. Yeah, as I say, we need to play the best players. We've brought players in to strengthen, so they need to play. Again, that's lineup hopefully we won't have again. But as Chris says, it's still in our hands. It's still all to play for. Did we think we were going to be in this position where we're capable of winning the league with Phil Martin was here, and we were, we're talking about, is this going to be a relegation battle at one point? So for us to be in this position, it's some swing of results and points and goals, and we just need to keep doing what we've been doing to get ourselves in this position and not have these off games where we're going away from home and there's just this kind of change in mentality where we're letting teams dominate. As we're Rangers, we're going to go and dominate every team, but we do need to play our best players to do that.
Yep, that's it. Chris, Stu, thanks for joining me after a disappointing result like that. I'd just like to thank our pod sponsors at Bluebell's Bar in Puerto del Carmen as well. If you're in Lanzarote over the next couple of weeks, go over there and give them a shout. Say they'll have all the Rangers games on for you and they'll look after you. So they're our pod sponsors for this evening. We are back tomorrow for a Q&A as well. So join us for that, and we'll probably do more digesting over this result. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Thanks for the comments, and just remember, every night's a Rangers Journal night. See you after.
Every night is the Rangers Journal night.